Wanted to share some content with you this morning about dealing with negative people, dealing with toxic people. How do you determine if a relationship is toxic or negative, right? Here's a good rule of thumb, and I give my brother-in-law credit for this. Shout out to Other Stout. He said to me, if you're dreading or have anxiety or negative feelings just before you talk to that person, at the thought of interacting with that person, if the thought of that person puts you into a tailspin, right? That's one trigger. And then two, the actual interaction with that person actually manifests that way, that it's negative, it's draining, it's debilitating, it's stressful, it's full of anxiety. And then number three, weeks and days after your interaction with that person, you're still reeling from the after effects of engaging with that person. That very well may be a relationship you need to address, right? If before, during, and after the interaction, you're still having issues with that person doesn't bring any joy, doesn't bring any positivity, doesn't bring the required nutrients to the relationship, then that's the one you probably need to address. Maybe sever, maybe deal with. I don't care what title you have in this scenario, because to me, titles have duties and responsibilities, right? So if you are not owning the duties and responsibilities of your title, mother, father, son, daughter, brother, cousin, sister, then I'm going to take you through that process, and I might have to limit my interaction with you, right? Or, you know, completely sever ties with you. It really depends on the severity of the infraction, of the damage in the relationship, just how negative or how unhelpful a person is, which determines how far away I put them in my life, right? Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, my name is David Larg Smith, and I consider myself to be a catalyst for positive change. I'm an author, educator, and philanthropist, and I use my platforms and programs to try to help people manifest their God-given potential. If you're liking the content, please like it, share it, subscribe, put on notifications, do all of those things, make comments, because it's necessary for the YouTube algorithm and for the channel to be successful. So thank you for your support, and I'll get back to the content. The first thing that you have to do is you need to know who you are and what you stand for. And so in the previous video, I'll link it someplace here, but I talk about what's non-negotiable for you. What are your non-negotiable principles that you live your life by? For me, mine are hard work, fairness, good communication, accountability, responsibility, the pursuit of truth, and honesty. Those are my first six. And then I added the golden rule, compassion, kindness, and what else did I add? Gratitude, right? So those are my nine non-negotiable principles. And anytime I interact, I don't have to change those principles with anyone in any circumstance at any time. I can always pursue the truth. I can always be honest. I can always work hard. I can always have good communication. I can always be fair and honest. I can always show appreciation, gratitude, treat people the way I want to be treated. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to change those. And if you're in relationships with people that require you, or rather that violate any of those, then those are the first red flags that that you're not dealing with someone who is healthy or nurturing, or someone you want to be engaged with. So know who you are, know what you stand for. That's the first thing. I think the second thing you need to do is you need to develop the 10 C's, and I'll just list them right here. But I think the first four C's are the most important, is that you have to have good coping skills, right? You've got to develop coping skills so that when life happens to you, you can then fall back on your non-negotiable principles and then process that for yourself so that you don't fall into depression or anxiety or procrastination or one of the other negative emotional states that many of us fall into when life happens or when something happens, right? So coping skills. Once you have coping skills, you need good communication skills so that you can communicate to those around you how you're feeling, what's going on, what's happening, so that you can come to some kind of resolution, because then you've got to resolve conflict. You can't resolve conflict if you don't have coping skills and you don't have communication skills. You probably need that fourth C, which is courage, right? So you can then have the conflict. So it's probably in that order, right? Coping skills, communication skills, courage, and then conflict resolution. So develop the 10 C's, all of the 10 C's, okay? That's number 2. This is another step. Be clear on what you want in your relationships. We throw words around today so loosely that they fail to have any meaning. But, ambiguity facilitates irresponsibility. If I'm ambiguous with how I define what I expect from you, then can I really be upset when you don't do or give me what I need in a relationship? I mean, I didn't tell you. I didn't clarify for you what I wanted. So if you don't give it, can I really expect you to give it? We live in a world today where people are consciously incompetent. They strive to be ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. People don't want to know, because when you know, that creates accountability. And so we have a lot of people in American culture today that don't want to know, right? They want to have what do they call it? Plausible denial. Is it plausible denial? They want to be able to say, hey, look, I didn't know. How can you hold me accountable, David, when I didn't know? Those are some steps on how to deal with negative people. And let me just add this one thing. Let me ask this. I am open to atonement. I'm open to redemption. I'm open to second opportunities, but you have to do the work. If you mess it up, then the accountability is on you to rebuild the trust, to rebuild the relationship. And you have to do that through your actions, not by what you say, by what you do. But I'm open to that if a person is sincere and wants to get back on track and have a healthy relationship. The onus is on you. If you screw it up, the onus is on you to get back in my good graces, not for me to be the bigger man and just let you in with no accountability. Those are my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.